Hey guys, it's Jeff from grcoolparts.com, and we've been getting a lot of questions about blow-off valves, recirc valves, all the stuff that makes cool noises. So we have 3 different versions here today. We're going to talk about which one's right for your car, which one's wrong for your car, and any concerns that you have about mostly atmospheric blow-off valves. So let's get to it. There's a couple different ones we have here today, which is perfect for what we're going to be doing. We have the Forge Motorsport dump valve, which is a fully atmospheric blow-off valve. We have the Turbosmart dual port, which I haven't even opened yet, so we'll check that one out, which is a 50/50. And then we also have the HKS Super Sequential 4 blow-off valve, but it can also be used as a recirc valve. More on that. So first off, why upgrade your blow-off valve? Now, most people associate blow-off valves with big boost pressure noise being released, the whistles that go woo-woo, all sorts of other stuff, or the heavier spring causing turbo flutter, the stu-tu-tus that I referred to earlier in this video. Let's talk a little bit about this, because I have had a lot of people message us concerned about running an atmospheric blow-off valve. So the factory valve is a bypass valve. So what that means is when the charged air is being pushed into the throttle body from the turbo, it's released when you shift or when you're off throttle. It releases the air from the turbo compressor so that the wheel doesn't surge or chafe slow down, and puts it back into the intake after the MAF sensor. All that air that the MAF was reading in the system is still there, it's just being recirculated in front of the turbo to be used again. The benefit to that, or how that system works, is the MAF measures how much air is in the system, and then the ECU tells how much fuel needs to be dumped in to create the proper AFR combustion, air-fuel ratio. So that system keeps the air in there, it calculates the fuel, it's all good to go. With a blow-off valve or atmospheric dump, what that does is it, instead of pushing the air back into the intake tract, it releases it out into the open. So it's a lot louder of a noise. A lot of people enjoy that noise. Who doesn't enjoy that noise? But the car's computer is still calculating for that air. So in between, it's gonna run a little bit richer. So the only time that air is released is when you're off throttle in between shifts, or when you pull off the throttle. It is gonna run rich during that event between getting off throttle and getting back on again. But the only time that it's going to do that is when the valve is open. So is it okay to run an atmospheric blow-off valve on a MAF car? It's better for recirculating based off the computer's calculations. Is it gonna hurt the engine? If it were to run lean, if it were to have an issue like that, I would say definitely don't run one of these, but it's running rich in those events. As far as longevity issues over time, I personally have had multiple Subaru vehicles. You guys know how fragile those can be, and I've never had an issue running a atmospheric blow-off valve. Now, if you want to be a little safer or make sure that the ECU is running at the optimal range and you don't want to get a tune for an atmospheric blow-off valve, there are a couple different options, and there are some that can use both. So why upgrade the blow-off valve or the recirc valve in the first place? The factory boost control solenoid is actually located inside the factory recirculating valve. Sometimes the factory boost control solenoid has some limitations for tuning. So a lot of times you'll see people upgrade to a 3-port electronic boost control solenoid that has more flexibility or just more options when tuning. The Forge Motorsport dump valve and recirculating valve actually comes with a 3-port boost control solenoid. So this connects to the factory connector. This usually goes to the factory recirc valve, and this, just like I said, gives you more flexibility when tuning. All right, so this is the Turbosmart dual port blow-off valve, recirc valve. So what this does is when the charged air is released, there are these holes along the side of it where the air is going to escape and let out. With the dual port, this actually has the holes on the side which release to the atmosphere, but it also has these openings on the bottom which are gonna recirculate. So this kind of gives you like a little bit best of both worlds. You do get some noise coming out of the atmospheric dumps, but you still have some air retained inside the system as well. Turbosmart's obviously a very well-known company, very reputable. I know that there's a lot of design process in this stuff, so cool option for you if you want to have like a little bit of both. The last one that we have in here today is this HKS Super Sequential. So how this one works, big beefy boy, dude, wow, is this actually has the option to do dump or recirc. So this Mercedes looking triangle piece in here, you can actually remove this and put a fitting that plumbs back into the intake tract. For this valve, you actually don't remove the factory recirc valve. So this actually works in conjunction with that. It uses the same boost control solenoid built into that, and this actually also mounts on top of the engine, which is a little strange. HKS, everyone knows that. These are very common blow-off valves. A lot of people really like the unique sound that these create, and if that's something for you or you want a really loud blow-off, cool. If you want to recircuit, you can also do that with this. So this kind of gives you the flexibility of doing full recirc or full atmospheric dump. Once again, will this hurt my car? Based on my research and my real world experience, no, because it creates a rich environment in between shifts, off throttle. It's not going to have any direct harm to your engine. Is it better to run a recirc with a MAF car that's tuned, like a factory tune? Yes, but there are going to be a lot of other tuning options for our cars, which I'm very excited for. And it's one of those things where if you really like it, if you want to prioritize your car sounding nice, sounding the way that you want it to with a blow-off valve, you know, go for it. I threw this on my car to do some testing. It sounded great. I wasn't worried about it harming the car at all. And I am going to be putting this back on when we go to tune the car because I do want that 3-port electronic boost control solenoid. If you have any questions about this, if you disagree with my thoughts, please comment below, tell me I'm stupid, or better yet, check out the links below, check out the site, figure out which one's best for you. If you do have any questions, please feel free to, once again, comment below or hit us up directly, info@grcorollaparts.com. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you soon.